existing protocol, but I don't want the protocol to break. So I am so grateful to the Vice Chancellor of Federal University, the Registrar of Forensic Investigator, Society of Nigeria, our very honorable registrar, the Deputy Vice Chancellor was there, the administrative officers, several people are units, and we will take the whole of the 1 hour to do all the protocol. But I want to thank you for the opportunity. And I want to ask that you pay rapt attention. That's why I have to switch on the clothes. Alright. The forensic investigation and the criminal justice system in Nigerian perspective. I'm sure that we're all very familiar with the trend in a few months ago, where the criminal justice system of Nigeria became a lost war. Became a lost war because so many people pay attention, because something happened in the state. I won't let you know what happened. But the criminal justice system of Nigeria is not that I've been interacted with for 30 years until the one person. I happen to find my way of progress looking for holiday job after my journey, and I found myself in the judiciary. And the person who I was working with was always giving me in the office that he wants me to become a lawyer. And he truly because first, very was because what you call the customary cost, or we call the behavioral cost. Then the magistrate cost, the other cost, the high cost. Then I became a lawyer individually. But I didn't become a lawyer automatically. It took me several years of questioning the system, of being unhappy in that system, of being dissatisfied. So if I am dissatisfied, I can't be part of that system. So I was never going to be a lawyer. I wanted to be an accountant. So the lawyers here, you have me. I was looking for the money in the knowledge. Then I found out that at the end of the day, I found my ego out in the law. So I've been practicing law for the past 10 years. And I was directed in criminal justice with the court of appeal and in the human rights sector. I'm the secretary of the human rights policy in the branch of the NBA that I started. So my perspective, my name foundation. Because I want to know that my perspective is an inspirational one. It is not simply academic. I want to know that whatever need I will challenge that the criminal justice system is not a new one. And most times we want to compare with what is working. But if you continue with where you are coming from, you will appreciate the progress that you are doing. For instance, while I joined in the judiciary as a young person, and I was dissatisfied, magistrate in my life in their local house, course were not promoted. Some of us was really hard to school because they are living and divided away by God. The prisoners arrived in what they call South Area, and they were all criminals. Now, first of all, they are not all criminals in the prisons. They are now called inmates or correctional facilities. That is the progress. They are not fair. They are living hospitalized, yes. And some of them are now to go to school. If I may shock you, recently, a criminal was sentenced to prison and to serve in the correctional facility. is now a 200-level student of Open University, and he is now going for this degree, and he has appointed for the Open University. He made a straight A in the so that's progress. People now, and Indians or people can never get a degree that create anything of his hands. The person is never accepted on that. You can do talking about errors in human. Now, I do this to you because I want to find a way to come into that system and correct what you think is the challenge. I challenge us today that as we listen, we become accountants that apply forensic investigation knowledge. We become criminologists that apply forensic investigation knowledge. I want to be lawyers that are criminally and that forensically defined. I have a personal message. To me, that message is for us. I think I said this before. I hope this is not a place in the chapel. It's a cafeteria. It's a chapel. And the Spirit of God will help. Alright, so that being said, when we talk about forensic investigation, it deals with scientific means of analyzing evidence, facts in the issue, or facts that are not in the issue, relevant facts, and all that. Forensic science can be generally considered as an application of science in criminal and civil matters. You know, for learning colleagues and civilian Nigerian legal system is vast, is wide. In fact, and it keeps evolving. So many people are not satisfied that all they have is the English law. They want to judge criminal matters based on their religious belief. And they are still fighting against the some people report their criminal way of settling, their criminal justice of settling crimes in their religion is confusion. And I believe that some people are taking dissatisfied with what their cultural way of doing to take evidence. So the criminal justice system is still an evolving landscape. But that being said, the moment they recognize that the system in Nigerian palace is what we have by the act of parliament. So you cannot go and create your own criminal justice system, no matter how much you want to do. I know that a lot of people now they are possible where they perceive enemy, you drag them, you organize place, and everybody asked you, and then all now people that are calling people to get because they participate in their progress. So all these are still not acceptable, not understanding that they are happening. It is not the Nigerian justice system. The Nigerian justice system, the Nigerian criminal justice system is enshrined in the laws of Nigeria. Praise the Lord. They are not saying hallelujah. I didn't forget that they said this in the chapel, and I was asking for your attention. Alright. I know you are getting the information after now. So the application of forensic science into criminal investigation has become very imperative because most times people go through torture, people are arrested and not allowed to go. Some people are forced to sign cases. Great, thank you. And that's why analysis of all these forensic analysis is very important. The several branches of forensic investigation. We have forensic accounting, which is an analytical skill for resolving financial issues. We have forensic fingerprinting, we have ballistic investigations, we have question document investigations, we have a lot of it. And when you go into the society, you may need to pass through all this training. Last conference, I was talking to the lawyer who came in for family after this training, and he said, "We are now forensic lawyers." And I laughed. I said, "Why are you forensic lawyers? I'm not signing for them." But the forensic investigation comes across several disciplines, and you can find your niche there. And the issue of makes so rampant that everybody is investing, families are investing. They were calling please stop the way of children. But that was rampant some time ago. Today, I go to church. A judge will brought his wife to church with my family was very so these things are very much closer to us than we think. And of course, there is forensic investigation of mobile devices. You can follow the history, depicted SMS, you can do discovery of seminars. So all those things that we think are very dynamic, forensic investigation and bring them back to life. Now, one thing of the criminal justice system in Nigeria, the only authority that is allowed to carry out arrests is the police and other authorities by the Police Act 2020. So the criminal justice independent after the crime is committed, the law enforcement agency, which is the police, immigration, or any one of them empowered to carry out investigation, carry out investigation, carry evidence, and arrange the offender. Then the person is charged to the court, or the court decides on the punishment of the offender. Then of course the system goes into the correction. I don't think that the number of corrections with that X number. Now the laws that are the laws that apply to the Nigerian criminal justice system is very good because of very rigorous setup. In northern Nigeria, there are sets of laws that apply. For instance, adultery, drunkenness is a crime in the north. But in the south, it is not a crime, it is proven. Or it is necessary to establish a crime. For instance, and because that was that is when you a crime or something to look into. But for you to know yourself and then you in the law can attract punishment and structure okay. And so no matter why you see that what is contained in the law is not research. It is because of amalgamation of the land. You know, the laws already have an existing system of political, judicial, and religious criminal justice system vested in the areas and the localities. So by the time the country was being amalgamated, they didn't want to use this part of it. So they had to provide into the penal code So that's the case in the law. There is a plethora of laws after that is applicable in receiving English law. It's an influence of criminal justice system. Attention to penal code, mandatory school of law that rotates in Islamic individual criminal justice system without the capital punishment elements. That is the customary law of people, the criminal procedure act, the criminal procedure code of states, the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, and just running through some of the laws that cover the criminal justice system. The Administration of Criminal Justice Law, the laws to 2011, the Economic and Financial Crimes Law, the Armed Robbery Violence Tribunal, the ICPC law, the military law, there's several others. And because of the time I have, I see that this is already and I'm conscious of it. So let me just take the laws and get on. Now, I must also mention that the law that is the major law that affects the criminal justice system in Nigeria is our constitution, which is the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999, as variously amended first, second, and third constitutional acts. Why the constitution is so important to the criminal justice system in Nigeria is because it gives a supremacy clause that when every other law is not in tandem with the supreme and the Constitution has a overriding power over every other sections. It guarantees the right to fair hearing by Section 26 of the Constitution. It also empowers state attorney generals and attorney generals of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to enter what we call a non-prosecution. That means that the attorney general can stop any criminal trial by entering the non-prosecution. It also establishes the prerogative of arresting and jurisdiction of criminal courts. So the Constitution is the major that affects the criminal justice system in Nigeria. There's several. Now let me also address the powers. Most of these laws are still being tweaked. Some of them, by the time we get to the courts, and they are approved. In fact, the National Assembly will try to enact further laws to correct these lacunas. And sometimes in the process of reviewing the law, it becomes, how would I say, obsolete. For instance, the Evidence Act we now use in Nigeria was developed for over 50 years before we were amended in 2011 and is underway for another amendment recently. So all these laws are not the same. It's a continuum. And probably in time soon we have the kind of law that suits our criminal justice system. So what are the challenges in the criminal justice system in our areas? In our 1001, you can wake up in your house in the morning and somebody doesn't point to that's it. And that's all the person is to let people be prison. I say it to the past because I've been around such people in the course of the work that I do in the human rights policy. I've seen people say, we're just walking on the streets and somebody just walk with them. And then they say, I'm not going to what do you do? It's what you do to parade. And the person who is victim is not like they define you. And because our laws allows identification parade, somebody said, hey, that's me, and that's wrong. Some people are forced to buy statements and all that and all that. So we have the problem of corruption. And like I said, problems are common everywhere. We need to find a way to solve our problem. And we have the issue of pay. When I interacted with the Lord in the North, I didn't think that was the law. But by the time I moved this point, I saw that it is not a different ballgame. The laws come and say, well, let's go to first. I'm ready to do my business. And the person is committed to do and he goes back to say and he begins to attend cases from the world. But in this part of the world, the person needs to prove so many things. To prove that the taxpayer should be needs to have another property. It actually needs to prove the account check for himself and the surety. And when that is going on, the person needs to spend time in the prison with the correctional facility. So the president has spent on the average 3 weeks waiting to perfect the day. That is the good. I don't know if the situation in the world is very complex because so we have the issue of bail. Is supposed to be provided an accused person with this condition. We have the challenge of limitation, technological limitation, have the death knowledge. For instance. So, of course, the children expect to be present the child the magistrate or judge. We only convict or acquit or exonerate an accused person based on the evidence before them. Judges are not those. The laws are shopping for evidence. It is of evidence. So it is what is presented to them that they base their judgments on. So you can imagine what will happen if some people decide to be corrupt. Then we have a lot of disjointed, how would I say, disjointed practitioners. The system is not coordinated. It's not like a one-stop shop. You come into the courts, if you need a pathologist is there. If you need an accountant, the person is there. It is a very slow process. So someone can start a case and to not end in the next 10, 5, 6 years. And if the person is not on bail, the person is coming from prison. You can just imagine the frustration. Of course, there is overcrowded correctional facilities and a lot of it. Now, let me not dwell on our challenges, but I know that there is hope, there is renewed hope. We are changing, we are not where we used to be, but definitely we are not where we want to be yet. So there is a disconnection among practitioners in the criminal justice system. There is also the use of outdated laws and equipment, and of course the lack of political will to change the system. For Nigeria, for a state like Lagos, where you have about 20 million people, you expect that we have at least 200 courts. But we don't have up to 100 courts in Lagos. And we don't have more than 50 magistrates or so, except they have increased them. And you look at one judge is handling 1,005 cases. In the Federal High Court, it is another thing entirely. So the overcrowded dockets. If somebody is handling, even if you want to say, are you guilty or not, before you can finally get to see that judge, and before you open your mouth, the judge is even tired for more other things, and the person goes back to the prison. That accounts for why we have that inordinate delay. Now, let's leave all that and go back to, are there cases that have been decided by forensic investigation? Is forensic investigation relevant as it is to the criminal justice system? I would say yes, and I will also say no. Yes, in the sense that the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal, have made pronouncements on investigations that exonerated or acquitted some of the accused persons. We also have people who are had to be convicted. The abuse are held as true based on forensic investigation. I give you examples. Oniwon versus the Federal Republic of Nigeria, reported in 2012. LPER, please let me leave out the citation so that I will not waste our time too much. You know, the court decided that where the laboratory report analysis turns out negative, the accused person can be allowed to go home. In this case, the accused person or the defendant was caught with several laps of cocaine by the men of the NDLEA. And by the time they went through an analysis of the substance, they didn't give a report that this the report was neither here nor there. And so the court said, please, don't bother us with what you are not sure. Let this man go in peace. But turning the other way around, assuming they have a better analysis, the laboratory that says this substance is Indian hemp, it's cocaine, it's not powder or face. What do you think would have happened to that man? The man would be serving his term in prison. We have the case of Oye versus the States. It was a homicide case. We have Shonubi versus the people of Lagos. Samson Idowu versus the States. In this case, it was a conspiracy and armed robbery. I know the sentence for armed robbery is set by hanging, applicable in Nigeria, fortunately. And of course, the courts go because they couldn't prove that the ballistic, they couldn't do a ballistic analysis to say that the bullets or the cartridge that was found at the site of the crime scene was fired by the accused person. Although the lower court had convicted him, on appeal, he discharged and acquitted. Several cases I have. Several.
That's so embarrassing. I'm I hope that she still has me.
State of Ojo versus the states. Several. But the point here is there is space for you. What do you think will happen if you have a very good laboratory where you can analyze pieces of evidence, where you can deliver expert opinion to the judge to guide him? Do you think you're helping humanity or your claim as it is to be exonerated or to be convicted? There's space for you as an accountant, as a psychologist, that we should investigate further and probe further what we do. There's space for you as a business person. If you can establish, the only DNA lab that we have in Lagos State, unfortunately, was burnt down during the EndSARS protests. And up till now, probably because priority is being given to other areas, we don't have a functional government-operated DNA lab, except for what we have. So you can imagine what you will do if you want to be a private person collaborating with the government to do that and charging a small fee. Anyway, I'm giving business idea. All right, because I'm a commercial lawyer. So let me leave that and go on to what areas do we think we can collaborate? There are a lot of pathologists, medical pathologists that are called upon to come and give evidence in court over manslaughter cases corporate homicide punishable with them. And they come and they don't even know what to say because they don't know what to test for. They are trying to tell us when the person died. They are trying to tell us things that are so scientific that even sometimes the judges cannot recall what they are saying. But it will not link the accused person to what he says. So the judge is not like, please take this off my hands. I can't look into all this. So if we collaborate, if the pathologists collaborate with the judges, and the judges collaborate with the investigators, of course we have a better criminal. I'm not saying that they collaborate to make sure that the accused person is guilty by force, but to establish whether or not they are working with facts. It is something that we need to look into. Probably we will have a joint effort to ensure that we have a better criminal justice system. Like I'll tell people, when they tell me, please, lawyers are people that they treat you like God. Not because they worship us, but they call upon you in the day of trouble, and they want you to save them. Let me say us, because even lawyers are part of this. There are things that we can necessarily avoid. Probably there are things in your purview that you can properly keep your documents. It makes it easier for a defense lawyer to defend somebody who is properly organized and has taken efforts to ensure that his work or his flow of work is forensically documented. You are an accountant, you have your papers properly done. Somebody looks at it and the person is able to say, oh, this is correctly done. You are a pathologist, you are documenting, and your flow of work is proper. It is easier for it to be used in court. And of course, Section 68 of the Evidence Act allows the court to rely on expert opinion. It allows the court to admit expert opinion, but the weight, the probable weight to attach to the opinion, I'm reading it, you know what. The weight is not what anybody can determine. So, I've talked about the challenges. I'm looking at the reforms now. Adequate funding, forensic evidence needs adequate funding, training, and purchase of world-class facilities that meet up with global best practices. Now, the criminal investigators too should be provided with the liberty of training. Sometimes when something happens, you have your mind and your opinion to do something. But that's when the political person will come. In that case, it's off your hand or off your mind, like they say. Some is their religious belief. So the expert can be contaminated by personal inclination. So we need to look at how we can have this out of the way to remove ethnic, political, religious influence or interference in forensic investigation. The judicial process needs to be more efficient. More judges need to be employed. If we have 1,000 magistrates in Lagos, they are not too much. They will have enough work to do. Then the recruitment of police and other law enforcement agents. In time past, it was easier to go through the eye of the tiger than to join any police or any military or any paramilitary outfit in Nigeria. But with the advent of politicians, they just flood it in with their cows, their dogs, and then they make recruitment. Somebody who was an armed robber can easily become anything. So we need to streamline the recruitment processes. Thankfully, the Police Service Commission has been allowed to be the sole recruiter of policemen in Nigeria after a long battle with the office of the IGP. And I hope that they will do the best they can. Then we're looking at better sentencing and correctional efforts. I'm recommending that we should have we should focus more on restorative justice system. The example I cited at the beginning of the paper on that kidnapper that taking steps to do something profitable for himself is one. We should look at community service sentencing. We should look at sentencing that will require that the person turns out better instead of breeding more criminals in the correctional facilities. And I also recommend that we should run a for-profit correctional system. Somebody says, now, why for-profit? The correctional facilities in Nigeria have most of the lands, vast lands. We could turn them into things that are profitable. We could make the inmates of the correctional centers become craftsmen, people that could work with their hands. Sometimes when you look at the cost of housing one inmate in the correctional facility, we would do better. It costs us 14,000 naira to feed them per day, according to what they say. It costs them some money to feed them, keep them clean, so then to build more correctional facilities, you can Google. So I think if we put a profit margin to these things, we will do better. We will not force people into prison. We will not lump people together. We look at the profit side of it. If it's not profitable, let's stop it. That's why I want to end my talk today, and I hope I won't say my hypothesis. I want to thank you for listening, and I want to thank you for doing all the jobs. I apologize. Please don't be offended, and don't speak to your lawyer that I am traumatizing my family. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Barrister. We are going to have questions for you, I believe, but after the next speaker. Okay. Do we have questions for Barrister? Anyone? Questions? Observation? Comment? Anyone? That means she didn't just speak to our presentation. Anyone? All right. Thank you so much. We don't have any question for you. Thank you.
Thank you for discharging and acquitting me.
Oh, okay. So, I spent 2 weeks at the female correctional facility, the maximum correctional facility, Lagos State. Anyone aware of the prison, maximum prison? If maximum prison, our students they don't know where to get out to. So there is maximum prison. If your age is that your life will have no. That's where they take the hardcore criminals. All the modern cases we saw, paper and they take their side of the west. So I spent 2 weeks there. Well, not as an inmate. But I'm like, oh, not as an inmate, but I went there for the project to set up their library there. And I tell you, what I can say is that I think you need to take your students there to go see what's happening there. And every time I remember my time there, what comes to my heart is I shout the trainer. I don't know if you know the song. I shout. I'll read the lyrics to us. It says, I'm in chains, you are in chains too. I wear uniforms, and you wear uniforms too. I'm a prisoner, you are a prisoner too. Mr. Jailer. That's the lyrics of our song. And going there for the project, I was a criminal because I don't have access. I wasn't given access to my phone. I wasn't given access to the laptop. They have to scrutinize you and all that. And I can only, and I was really traumatized for me, even though I was there. And I can imagine someone that you have nowadays who is not you, and we have a lot of people there. I can imagine how
area. Technically, online. I can imagine now the forensic investigators, you know, they tell me what the problem about the and also what's all of it. So you have a family that is space for you. You have fight for you. You have space for everyone to be in this society. You have help. Someone reached out to me and that was last year, and the police like killed the case. They lost them and planning on joining the society because of our life and they didn't want to society because they are having to do their job. So there is a lot happening, and I want, like I said, probably more right now. Investigate, reach out, there is space for everyone. No matter what field you are in. So, thank you so much